Today I want to talk about JT Tuimoloau, who has whittled his list from 5 to 4. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about JT Tuimoloau, who, through the only dude that he actually talks to, Brandon Huffman, we learned he has canceled his upcoming official visit to Alabama. This is a tremendous bit of news because, well, among other things, Alabama thought they had a real shot if they could get him into Tuscaloosa, get his family on Tuscaloosa on an official visit, and give him the 5-star treatment that he deserves. But the reason that we're talking about this, and I should back up and do that because I always assume that everybody knows what we're talking about, is JT Tuimoloau is the only remaining uncommitted 5-star recruit in the 2021 cycle. He decided not to sign a national letter of intent because he had not been able to visit any of the campuses. More to the point, his parents had not been able to visit, I should say, all of the campuses. One of those being Ohio State. The thought being that if Ohio State were able to close on his parents, because he felt like an Ohio State lean, that Ohio State would win the JT Tuimoloau sweepstakes. And the reason that this is interesting, at least to me, is because it is an example of a recruit exercising the leverage that he has at his disposal to the fullest amount. Like, we've seen athlete agency in recruiting. We're going to see more athlete agency in name, image, and likeness. But what this also means is he could sign a financial aid agreement, and likely did, with all 5 of his finalists that are Ohio State, Oregon, Washington, USC, and Alabama, which is to say that the schools are bound to that agreement. He is not. National letter of intent goes the other way. You are bound to the school. You can't go anywhere else. So you're still effectively recruiting him until he enrolls wherever it is he chooses to enroll, which is, again, why everybody's rolling out the red carpet for the 5-star prospect who's defensive end, defensive tackle type, who was an outstanding tight end, who had a basketball offer to Washington State and is every bit of 6'5", 270. But now Ohio State fans are feeling themselves in a way that I find it interesting that Oregon fans, Washington fans, and USC fans are not, because they seem like they think that they have won this thing as JT Tuimoloau goes into decision mode. It's not every day that you hear about kids just deciding not to take all 5 of their official visits, especially right now, as nobody has been able to take an official visit for 16 months. And this is the first time in the history of the sport that we've seen the NCAA open up official visits for the summer. It's usually not a thing rising seniors can do. They have to be going into or in their senior year. The season's already started and there are games being played. But because nobody got to take any visits whatsoever, we are seeing the NCAA relax those rules. Same thing with seeing the NCAA saying, hey, if you want to take a year of eligibility, you can do that. So now we're going to have more than 12,000 players playing FBS football when we would normally have 11,000, which leads me to believe that we're going to see the most competitive football that we've seen in the sport since scholarship reductions back in the 90s. I wrote about this at Fox Sports if you are at all interested, just as I wrote about JT Tuimoloau and him exercising his leverage at Fox Sports if you are interested. So now we're talking about Ohio State, Oregon, USC, Washington. Those are the 4 finalists, right? Washington is his in-state school. Jimmy Lake needs this win. He lost Emeka Egbuka to Ohio State, but he got Sam Heward. Like, G. Scott to Ohio State. You want to get this win. This would be tremendous for Huskies football recruiting. Oregon is looking to add this guy to the other side of Kayvon Thibodeau and bolster an already deliciously awesome defense that I can't wait to go up against Ohio State. But that's the other thing. This has immediate implications because whoever wins this guy is going to see the balance tip to them just a little bit more when we're talking about Ohio State and Oregon playing on September 11th, and Oregon strengthens its defense, Ohio State strengthens its offense. That said, seeing JT Tuimoloau on the other side of, say, Zach Harrison or Jack Sawyer, it's going to make you feel good as an Ohio State fan just to seeing him on the other side of Kayvon Thibodeau with Noah Sewell, Justin Flo behind him. It's going to make you feel good as an Oregon fan. But USC is also sneaky good here because he kind of came up a USC guy. He's from that area. And they already have dudes, Drake Jackson and Corey Foreman. Corey Foreman being the number 1 player in the 2020 cycle, and JT Tuimoloau being like right there as the number 3 player in the 2021 cycle. So they could end up, well, not just 2 of the top 5 players in the last 2 years, but on either side, +1 Drake Jackson, which would make their defensive line one of the best, if not the most talented in the entire country, because I would assume all 3 of those dudes are playing at the same time together. This is really interesting, right? Because we could easily see this this is going to have a ripple effect for the sport, is the blanket statement. This is going to show, one, that kids can, at the 5-star level, take this all the way into the summer if they want to. Zach Evans did this last year, ends up at Texas Christian. It's also going to show just how badly your school wants that 5-star prospect, and why I continue to say those kids should exercise this agency whenever they can, however they can. And then now we're going to see an influence with name, image, and likeness, and what I hope is unlimited educational benefits because of the Supreme Court's ruling in Alston versus the NCAA, which is to say that the NCAA cannot limit the educational benefits that a college student, or I should say a student athlete, can get compared to a college student. So if one of the incentives to joining the computer science program at, let's say, my alma mater, the University of Tulsa, is that they are going to give you an Alienware laptop, you can give the same Alienware laptop to the student athlete. Get what I'm saying here? So I would expect to see a bunch of kids run around with some outstanding gear here in the next few years. And then there is the name, image, and likeness part of this. Like, quiet as it's kept, Jahan Dotson posted on his Instagram story that he is open to all local and national marketing opportunities as name, image, and likeness becomes a real thing. Thought that was interesting because, A, you're assuming that there's a market for you, and there may be, and there probably is, because Jahan Dotson is likely to be, if not a first-round draft pick, certainly in the first 3 rounds as a wide receiver. But B, that's going to be one of the ways in which you are able to recruit, is to say we have all of these opportunities, these paid internships, educational benefits that you can take advantage of if you choose our school. Ohio State is already leaning into this. I know that Clemson is dragging their feet a little bit because Dabo said what Dabo said. But I expect the players or the coaches like Mike Locksley, who you'll hear from on the number 1 ranked show on Monday, will completely jump both feet into this. That's what he said. He said, I am both feet in on this. There's a lot of gray that he wants to see worked out. But in as far as making money from your name, image, and likeness, Mike Locksley is all for it. And you know that Mike Locksley is a player's first coach. It's how he was able to get Rakim Jarrett to Maryland. It's how he was able to get Talia Tagovailoa, my bad, to Maryland. Tua, you at Miami. That's my bad. It's also how he's able to get more recruits interested in playing football at Maryland, and you're in the Beltway. You know, you're in the DMV. There are opportunities for you, especially around that area. So I'm interested to see how this goes, but JT Tuimoloau making a decision is going to influence so much. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, shout out Odyssey Alexander. I got your jersey, family. Deuces.